In my last video on Age of Wonders, I said that I enjoyed the game and I intended to try out the DLC. Well, that time has come with the release of the fourth major expansion, the Eldritch Realms. And so I decided, why not I go and not play the new content, and instead I made a dragon ruler. And I was immediately impressed by the sheer amount of customization options you had for the dragon. Their size can be mediocre, sort of a giant horse, to a towering behemoth. You can have all sorts of wings, including the wingspans, tail types, scale types, color combinations, even just the idle animation. And that's not to talk about any of the mechanics behind customizing your dragon ruler. You can be a dark dragon, light dragon, nature dragon, the usual stuff. But as I discovered when playing the game, when you level up the dragon ruler, you'll be able to take certain feats and things that can give you aspects which will continue to evolve the appearance and statistics of your dragon well into the game. I'm really skimming just how much there was to do in the dragon customizer, so I don't even want to guess the amount of combinations that are possible. And dare I say, it may even be the best build your dragon thing I've ever played and seen in a game, or at least in a finished game that's out and playable. Very, very impressive on that front alone. The DLC does more than just bring in the dragons though. I got all of them in one go. So guns are now in the game. There's new culture types which really do change up the playstyle. My original attempt was with a feudal. Once I got the DLC, I tried doing tribal, and that was really fun to get in the mindset of the tribal society worshipping a spirit. It would spawn locations on the world map that you would be incentivized to go after to continue a quest relating to your culture's spirit, and it gave bonuses if you built territories within it. A bunch of new units, both for yourself and for the enemy, were also introduced. I probably haven't even seen them all, but they help spice up the gameplay and make maps feel more unique. In fact, world maps as a whole have been overhauled, because now they can have hidden randomized statistics that will only reveal themselves through play, whereas before you knew everything about a world on generation, even if you didn't want to. So that's great, again, for just deciding to do a blind playthrough. But a very fundamental thing that isn't DLC, that I didn't really notice on my first time with the game, was that there are actual story missions, with cutscenes and unique objectives to clear them that aren't usually available when you just do a generated free play match. And I kind of just missed it completely, because to be fair, the menu isn't super clear when you've first turned it on, so I just ended up generating my own world, and it was fine, I had a good time. But yeah, this time I went and played the story missions, some of them anyway, and it was another cool change of pace, especially for a single player experience. Though I had a lot of trouble with, I think it's the second story mission, where you're on an archipelago and you're trying to shut down this evil water siren queen person. Basically, there's a god character that has dominated a world and captured a benevolent spirit, and is using that spirit to constantly try and create new cultures, and then she gets bored of them and drowns them, starts all over again until she gets a favourite. And so when you start, you've got the option of, do you try and turn her failures against her, or do you just gun it and have everyone hostile to you? And I decided to play it safe and smart and turn her forces against her, and it worked. The problem is, to win, you needed to destroy the god. So I went to her capital city and tore it down and realised she wasn't there. And then I tried looking at the map, which was still largely undiscovered, and every time I came across a new territory of her faction, one of the other people that I allied with was already in the process of dismantling it. And the turns kept ticking on, and I was starting to get very bored with this game. I'd practically won. My military power was not to be questioned. The issue was I couldn't find the damn god. And I realised they had hidden underground, because the map layer is split between 3 now of the DLC, and she went to underground, so I had to go all the way to an entrance to go underground to find out that there were a bunch of people waiting for me as soon as I did that, so they jumped my guys that were going in one at a time, and I could still destroy them. The problem is now I had to wait for the guy to respawn, to move back over, the clock kept ticking up and up, and eventually I started just auto-battling. I had played every battle manually up until that point, but yeah, it was just frustrating having a character run away forever. They had no chance of winning, and then when I did find them, they stalled, hiding in their little hole in the ground. I even did a strategy before this point I thought was smart when they tried to jump me, where in the match I targeted the god character and made sure she died before I lost the fight. The idea was, okay, her capital is dead, and now she is dead, so even though she won this fight, after the calculations, the game should end, because she can't respawn without her capital. Instead, as soon as the match finished, she appeared with half HP, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's a mechanic or if there's something I missed, but I'm pretty sure my plan was sound. But no, didn't happen. So that was annoying. Afterwards, I continued with the story missions, and there I tried out the new Eldritch Sovereign, and man, the thematic elements are strong in this. I made this just complete monstrosity that you wouldn't want to be in the same room as you, and I tried to go for a playstyle where you're raising up as many summoned units and empowering them through both mystic arts and eldritch powers. And just by being an Eldritch Sovereign, you get unique interactions with vassal cities and things where you can just speak nonsense to melt their mind and get them to do what you want. Overall, very happy with the DLC, and I hope that this game continues to get support beyond its first season. I think it's only just over a year old, but it's got a lot of potential. It's good as it is, don't get me wrong, but if it got more DLC, I'm sure it could be even better than this, because it's a strategy game with management of cities, with great perk trees to customize everything. Your cultures are very unique, and you can do the fights manually if you so wish. It's a great blend of fantasy and fun.